Hello there! Only one Kenobi here, only one. I'm finally getting around to filming and reviewing this Shuttle Tydirium. It's not a Shuttle Tydirium, what am I saying? This is the Lambda Class Imperial Shuttle. It's from the 2006 Saga Collection. So I've got the packaging I'll show you later. I've done a little tiny diorama there. It's not how I'm going to have a future diorama, it's just to give you an idea of scale. Also over there you can see the Katana sail barge. Now that thing over there is the reason why I've even started buying all these vehicles. If I go down here, you'll see the Legacy Collection AT-AT. I want to talk to you about that as well, because the thing about this Shuttle Lambda Class here from the Imperial Shuttle, which is a Lambda Class shuttle. Tydirium is one of many shuttles that were Lambda Class. The reason I wanted to talk to you about the legacy vehicles is because I thought that because I never owned a shuttle in the 80s, I thought that this one was like that AT-AT you just saw down there. I thought it was, brought up to date, massive in size, like the AT-ATs are, like the Falcon is, the Legacy Collection Falcon. I mean, all the vehicles in the 80s were big, but they weren't, now they're bigger. Like the Legacy Collection AT-AT down here, let's have a look at it. It has a 4-seater cockpit. The one in the 80s only had a 2-seater. There it is. You can get 4 guys in there. One of the reasons why I'm redoing this video is because when I was halfway through it, I was saying, oh, I've forgotten to research if this is if it's the same as the one in the 80s or not, basically. And it is. Apparently this is the same one. They've redone this one a few times. It came out in 2002. They've redone it again in 2006, and this one is awesome, by the way. I'm so glad, because I nearly got the one in 2002. This one is awesome. The paint applications on this are brilliant. Stay tuned, I will show you them. Because I thought that this was, because of the pure size of it, I thought that this was also a redo and bigger. The Legacy Collection Falcon's another great improvement of an original 80s original trilogy vehicle. The Falcon only had 2 seats in the 80s. Now it's got 4. This thing here, although it looks good from the outside, and this is probably the definitive version of the shuttle in the modern era in terms of these beautiful paint applications. Oh my God almighty. This is why I did about 10 takes of it the other day. I can't spit it out because of the brilliant paint apps on it. It's still, unfortunately, the one gripe I have with this is the fact that the cockpit only really fits 2. And I'll show you the cockpit and all that later. But first off, I just wanted to give you a really good look at it. I was just going to film the shuttle as it just on its own, but the reason I got these figures out was just to give it some scale. And I'm looking forward to, well, when I get into my new place, I'm going to make up a nice diorama. Really, my grand plan will be to get loads of Royal Guards, do the full hit, Dioramas are the key in my life right now. That is what started it all. That Katana, there's no regrets of me buying that, I tell you. Not only is it tripled in price, but I now know why my mate Mike is obsessed with building diorama sets and Death Star sets or whatever, because it's not half a great way of displaying your figures. I mean, even with this cluster of figures I've got here, that shuttle behind gives it some depth and scale and, life. Ignore Krennic. Krennic has his own, I just love Krennic, see, I thought I'd get him involved. Krennic has his own shuttles, but I just thought I'd do this little, this is without question a shuttle crew here. If you watch The Return of the Jedi, the guys who pilot the shuttle are those guys in black with the hats. This is a technician. So look at it. I thought I'd just do this. This is typical of any old standard day in an Imperial hangar bay anywhere. There's a crew there, and these are the people, the kind of people who would get on board. He's got his own ship, but any of these dignitaries, these beautiful Lambda Class shuttles were, well, as you saw in The Return of the Jedi, Vader was on one, and even the Emperor, so they're obviously fit to carry the top of the Imperial hierarchy. But by all accounts, when I did a bit of research into them, look at the beautiful design of it, by the way. We'll talk about the design in a minute. There's John Lennon there. They were apparently pretty grimy and sweaty inside because they were used so much, or they were used to ferry Imperials all over the place. But they do look great. Look at the design again. That's just because the film was made in 1983. That Concorde style there, look at that. It really doesn't, it fits the era that it was made in. there's airport shuttles, trains that I've seen in America that have got that kind of design that were sort of from the 80s era. It's got that Walt Disney World monorail look to it. And dare I say, one of my favourite vehicles, it's got that like the DeLorean DMC-12 kind of style. But it's aged really well. It's got that futuristic style, but it now looks vintage, like retro old, you know, or new / modern, whatever, I don't know, classic. But I love it. So that's that. So I just thought I'd put a smattering of figures out there. The ones I've chosen to put inside, by the way, I've chosen figures that are pretty crap. These are good figures that I'd sooner be out on display like they are now in a diorama. The ones I've put inside, I didn't want to waste these good ones, as I've just said. I put ones that were suitable, but, you know, not so good. So inside I've put... This is where the video falls apart, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, we got it open. Inside I put... He's a technician, and this is supposed to be Admiral Piet, but it looks nothing like him. They're from the Power of the Force too, so figures like this are... very bulky, like they're on steroids, so they're not very good figures. They haven't aged well, so I thought I'd put them in there because you can't even see them behind the tinted glass there. What I was saying before about the cockpit, the one thing that they could do is if they were to ever bring out a shuttle again, which they could potentially make it bigger. They could up the capacity in the cockpit. There is a section in the back where you can sort of see a back section, but trust me, that's really tiny, that space. And it's gone very blurred there. It's not working. I'm going to prove that to you with this black Imperial droid. If I was to put him in there, watch this. Well, the landing, that's down at the minute. You can lower that. But basically, when he's in there, his head touches the ceiling. So that's how we look at him. You're supposed to have, you know, Luke and Leia and the droids in the back there. Oh, he's fallen down because of the thing. I'll mount the camera in a sec, and I'll show you some other things. So basically, my point is that it's not very good for holding more than two, really. It looks good. It's got depth perception. What's it called now? Force perspective, which looks quite nice when you look in there. But it's not really good for capacity. Now then, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move on. I'm going to show you the action of this thing. So it's really good. If I hold it up, it's got a kind of handle. Like, again, apparently this is the same as it was in the 80s. And the evidence of that, I should have known better when I was last doing a video and getting it wrong, because I wasn't sure. That is here. Can you see all right? The last time I did this video, I was using a fisheye lens. I've taken that off now because I think it affects the quality of the actual picture I'm giving you. That there, by all accounts, is where they used to put the batteries. So I should have known better. It's definitely the same sculpt as the 80s, but the weathering is awesome. We'll show you the weather in a minute. The landing gear does go down, but this trigger here is for playability, I do imagine. If you pull the trigger, which I'm pulling it now, they don't fall down, but they will, like that, equally like that, boom. So it's a beautiful ship, the shuttle. I can't call it the Shuttle Tydirium because it's the Lambda shuttle, right? The thing about it, it's such a great ship. I remember hooking in when the biggest hook for me when I watched The Return of the Jedi was, I thought, whoa, brand new ship. I think we all did. It fell out of the back of that, or underneath the bottom side of a Star Destroyer, and you saw the action of the wings, and it was just something new and cool. But it was when you were, how old was I? Very young, like 5 years old when I saw this film for the first time. So they're just a brilliant design. If you pull the trigger, they can fall down pretty quick, and they come up like that. But you got to take it easy. I don't want to break the thing. Yeah. Let me pop it down. I'll show you a bit more about what it can do. It's got a bit of action there. I want to just show you the weathering. So yeah, when I first saw the shuttle, I loved it. The first shot you see is the Death Star again. So when you watch The Return of the Jedi, like I did the other day, haven't seen it for a while, I thought I'd watch it because I'd won this on eBay. You see the Death Star, they're building it again, and you think, oh my God, you know, you understand immediately the reach of the Empire. Now, when you look at these wings here, check out these. When I first got this, it was a couple of days after buying it, I thought, my God, look at the detail. I knew it had a wash on it, you could tell that from the publicity shots and the reviews I'd seen on YouTube, but there's dark lines. You see that there? That's a dark line cast by a shadow, that, you see? Shadow line. But these here are painted on. They're like drips, look at them. On this thing, they also have drips and things, but there's a few stickers you need to put on. There's loads of decals, which I haven't put on because it would have looked probably, I don't know if I would have liked to have done it or not, but this thing is, they've taken the time to wash it, put a layer of grime all over it, or space dirt, and they've gone to the trouble of touching it up like it's like a real, it's got a lot going for it, this vehicle here. In terms of capacity, they could increase the size, but in terms of how it looks for a diorama, this is the definitive, this Saga Collection 2006. I mean, I'd love them to re-release it in the vintage collection only for the packaging, but if they were to release it again, and they probably won't really, well they might do, but if they were, I wouldn't want them to just repack this one again. I'd like them to give it the legacy treatment, you know, beef it up the capacity of that cockpit, make it all they can, the best they can make it. There's a little bit of room for improvement, but anyway, there you go. So as you saw, and I'd already had it retracted, the Vader's little ramp falls down, which is quite nice. Again, the perspective of it is, if you had Lego figures on this, it would be in scale. But unfortunately, that ramp does not match like these figures. If you put them really close to figures, it'll be, even the droid is getting close to the height of the. But in the background, it looks awesome for a diorama. It's all about forced perspective, isn't it? That's that. What I will do is I'll mount it again while I retract, and I'll show you the inside. There is another bit of capacity on this. Inside is better than the cockpit, actually. There's more space, you can have figures standing on it. So if I do, oh, have I lost you? Sorry. If I do that, I might even lie it like that for a second. So it looks like an aeroplane now. This is very flimsy plastic, that, and so is the cockpit. Very, very flimsy. The rest of it's really sturdy. That's not wobbly at all, that really. I don't know what the 80s one was like. It's quite firm. You can wobble it like that, but when you've got hold of it, it doesn't seem to wobble. It's pretty tight. Inside, remnants of the 80s again. These peg holes are ridiculously fat. I can't get any of my modern figures on those pegs. They're too big. And this is not focusing. Come on, buddy, don't let me down. It's the lighting, isn't it? I do apologise. There, you get the idea. So what I'll do is I'll just take Krennic. Sorry, I don't have an Emperor on hand. But Krennic fits in there really nicely. See, his head is very clear. There's a bit of clearance from the ceiling. And this I do like. If you go down here, you can get that kind of forced perspective thing down to the cockpit. From that angle, it looks like there's loads of space in there. But as you saw with the droid before, the droid's head is interfering with the ceiling closer up to the cockpit. So there's not much space, but it looks good from that angle. There's Krennic there. And that didn't work. I was trying to focus on him. If you are a subscriber to this channel, hello again, welcome back. You are always welcome here if you are a subscriber, and if you aren't, but you should hit the subscribe button. Don't know why. The point I'm trying to make is, if you are a subscriber and you've been following my channel, the quality of the videos I hope to improve. I've been entitled to a new phone upgrade for about a month and a half now, and I haven't done it because I've been doing other things, as you know. But that is on the cards. I'm going to upgrade. If you watch Tim from Busk's Bounty, he actually messaged me earlier and he said, when are we going to get another video for you, mate? I was going to leave doing this until tomorrow, but I thought, you know what, let's just do it tonight. I've got so much I want to do. I've got quick shots and all sorts. As you know, I'm in the process of moving, but anyway, things are going well in that department. Fingers crossed that things will be finished soon. What was I going to say? So yeah, a newer camera is definitely on the cards and bring some better quality for you. Excuse the state of me, by the way. Just been hiding behind the camera until I come in front of it. So there you go, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I can really show you and tell you. There is one other aspect I'd like to bring to your attention, which is, I talked about this amazing weathering. They've got that kind of dirt on the base there, which doesn't work with this here. You see it? I mean, you could make the case that these techies have been cleaning these bits because they're vital components of the the functionality of these wings. But you'll notice on the cockpit, you see, that side's clean, and then they've decided to put that burnage here, but that's clean. That's obviously the cockpit there, isn't it? So it has to open, but not very consistent, the weathering there. But it doesn't matter, man. That's a tiny, tiny detail to bring to your attention. It's a brilliant ship, shuttle, whatever you want to call it. If you are an original trilogy collector, as I knew, this is why I bought it, you've got to get a shuttle in there. The main biggies that you've got to get are an AT-AT, a Falcon, this, and that is it. And they go through the films. Falcon, New Hope, AT-AT, Empire, Jedi, Shuttle. And, oh, well, Jedi. In the modern era, we are now blessed with that over there. Awesome. So there you are. Thank you. So, oh my God, no, we're not finished yet. I'm going to show you the packaging. Here's the packaging here. I did buy it, and it was first hand, sort of. It's an old, it's been in someone's collection for a while. Won it at auction. I could tell the shuttle hadn't been touched because it had like cellophane and stuff covering the main bits, and the wings weren't put on. But I like the packaging. It's good. It's they've actually used the shuttle that is your toy for the publicity or the outside photography, should we say, which they could have used something from the movie or something or whatever. And on the back, here are the features. Cockpit opens, fold down ramp. You've seen all this. Pull the trigger to open the wings, retractable landing gear, double laser cannons. I haven't really shown you that much. And adjustable blaster cannons. And it comes with these two figures here, which I have here. I've not opened them up because I don't really need to. That Vader's not really that good. It's one of the hinge elbow Vaders, which I have already loose. And ironically, it's really annoying this. I did want another one of these loose because I had one of them loose from Attack of the Clones line. And I, about a year and a half ago, I bought one on eBay to make it symmetrical. So I've got two of them. Now I've got bloody three of them. So I've got no need to open that really. But I might do. So there it is. Nice big box. So it goes to prove, if it is the 80s sculpt, that thing back in the 80s was huge. I mean, I suppose you could say that the AT-AT back then was big, I suppose. Not as big as that bad boy, but it was big. But this is certainly big and tall. A bit more of the packaging for you there. There's the window where the figures were. Hello there. You see me? Yes. And there is another one of the hangar bay. I'm sorry, if you really wanted a closer look at the packaging, I'm only giving you a quick overview. That's about it, really. There's not much to show you there, ladies and gentlemen, except this box is falling apart. So it's obviously been done the rounds, hasn't it? There you are. Oh, excuse me, I just belched. There you are. Thank you so much for watching. I'm just going to finish this out by saying sorry for the delay. There were more videos coming. I'm going to give you one last 360 of this. Oh, that's one thing I haven't said. The other thing I don't like about it is that I don't like the fact they've painted them. No, it's not painted, it's stickers or whatever. Oh, come on, focus, will ya? There you go. It reminds me of the shuttle from the Action Fleet. I do have the Action Fleet, and I will review all my Action Fleet at some point soon. I would have preferred if they'd kept the grills clean, as if it would look, you know, like an engine grill like you get on the back of the A-wings and stuff, as if it would be idle, you know. It looks great for a kid running around a garden. They think, yeah, it looks blue, and they do blue. They do blue glow? They do glow blue in the movie, but I'd prefer dead engines, because I'm going to have mine parked anyway. But it's a nice subtle hint that they've included the colour. The worst was in the 80s, actually, the AT. Do you remember the Falcon, actually? They had stickers on I'm sure they were red stickers on the back. That always did my head in as a kid. And they should have had blue stickers on that. But that, again, I'm talking about being a kid there. As an adult collector, I'd have them gone, me. I really would. I hope that makes sense. So there you are. Thank you so... Oh, I've just lost an Imperial technician. Thank you so much for watching. Let's stand them up again. This has been Only One Kenobi. Only one! Oh! Oh, I was supposed to... No, I've done that completely wrong. Out.